All right, what do we got here? I'm going to do some commentary on this. This footage is from Friday. I did a little clip in an artistic way. It's already up. I'm just going to talk my way through this and try to explain it the best that I can. Sped up twice, so it's twice the speed. Originally 20-minute little session, down to about 10 minutes. Not sure how long I'll talk for, but I'll try to fill up the time here. I went ahead and planned, as far as my planning went on this, same intention, same setup, but I planned on just go ahead and working my way down to all fours. I like that those 4 contact points with the earth. 4 major points with gravity and grounding, and it seems to, okay, right here, hold on. Yeah, right here I'm kind of working out the tension that seemed to me at the time to be recently developed, probably the previous hour and a half. So I just had to get that out of the way so I could get into some deeper stuff that kind of a little bit more chronic, not really intended, it just kind of ended up that way. So I like that 4 contact points with the earth and that grounding effect, and it takes a second before it gets rolling, but it feels like a circular energy is coming up from the earth. And it feels, it'd be better on sand or on the bare ground, but there still seems to be a good effect. It doesn't really seem to matter where I am. I can be on a 2nd-story building or in a fucking skyscraper, and you can still feel that. So that relationship with gravity seems to provide a good connection to the ground. And then I just kind of see where it goes. So I kind of decided on a starting point and then got down on it. And all fours is a great place to be anyway. Great place to start anything. And didn't really move beyond that this whole time. The energy, as it came, seemed to come, it's like it's coming straight in my ass and out the top of my head, and then on its way it kind of will focus and go into certain areas. In this place it went to the pelvic floor, which is a more chronic area for me, low back, pelvic floor, and just core, psoas, and then ultimately kind of focused in on the right psoas. And it's just, it's like it puts me into a state of, it's like being ill. It was like gut-wrenching and just extremely hard, a little bit brutal at times, but it seems to have ultimately a really good physiological and psychological impact on me. So it's almost like I'm cleaning out my gut, except I'm somewhat of a bystander, as if I'm like in a dream and I'm kind of watching myself, but at the same time I'm feeling myself. So this session here was really just strictly feeling that gut, and just, which they say is like your second brain, and just, it's almost as if I didn't do this, I'd end up with gut issues, digestive issues, and I do when I don't do this. So the gut, kind of cleaning itself up, it's just trying to bring itself back into balance. My pelvis is trying to bring itself back into balance, and the energy moves up and out of my spine because everything's related. The way my neck is tied down, the way I'm twisted up from the spine or from the pelvic floor, all that tension is just working itself out there. So it finds its way out as I'm swaying back and forth and working the tension up and out the top of my head, and then through the hands too. So I don't know, with this one, it was just, it was difficult. It sucked. I'm never excited about going into it, and the energy seems to go the places where I don't want it to go. It's the places I don't want to focus on. It's the place I'm really kind of trying to ignore every day. But I don't seem to have much of a choice. And for this moment right here, it was just the tension coming from the right psoas, which is my dominant side, and the right arm, as I'm right-handed, and I do more than I should on that side. I'm just using gravity and the resistance of gravity to just move it on up and out. And it just seemed to, because it's all just related, my right hand, the arm, the wrist, all that restriction going up through there is tied directly in all the way down that entire right side and across and all over. It's all connected to each other. So yeah, it was tough. It sucked, but 20 minutes of this and I feel so much more centered. I feel so much better. So this is just another variation of the practice, and something about being on all fours versus just lying flat on my back, that it's a different experience. So seems like I can choose any starting point that I want, and then it just offers a different experience, and just naturally I find myself throughout this process, ending up, and I really will find myself just all of a sudden realize like, holy shit, I'm in a very common yoga pose. And then even the sequence, I'll sequence out of it into a common yoga sequence. And, you know, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't speak on anything yoga. I don't have a lot of experience with it, although I have dabbled in, at least I've tried to hit up, you know, at least one class of each style just to kind of get an idea of what, you know, it's all about, and just to experience it a little bit. But ultimately I just do this. I just have to do this. Anything I do, any exercise, anything pre-planned, any exercise that was not designed specifically for me, seems to set me back in this process. It seems to throw me off or kind of hinder this process a little bit. Especially if it's an intense exercise that I didn't design, that someone else designed for me. It seems that my recovery takes a while. You know, all the compensations are just strengthened, and it's tough to kind of move my way out of it. When this has very little recovery time, I'll have tons of muscle soreness, and, you know, from the gut just squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and the pelvis squeezing, my glutes contracting, and, you know, I have that, you know, it's all done within a day, and I don't have to foam roll my way out of anything. I feel a lot better, and it's just, yeah, very minimal recovery time. But with that soreness that I'll get, you know, as everything's strengthening and coming back into balance, and all the weaknesses in my body are really strengthening and balancing themselves back out, I don't seem to have much aftermath other than more mobility, more flexibility, and, you know, just more awareness of my entire body after that. So, yeah, the energy is just kind of working its way out there. You can kind of feel it moving out the right hand, coming up from the pelvis and up and out the right side and into the ground, it feels like. So it kind of just seems to circulate. Well, you know what this practice is really about for me? This is just about me doing my own damn thing, you know. That's all I've ever wanted to do, and I do have a hard time listening to people or teachers. It's been that way my whole life, you know, and that's come at a cost and stuff. I've always listened and taken what I needed from whatever teacher, but with movement strictly, I can't. At this point, I know what I need more than anyone else knows what I need, and I have yet to encounter anybody who knows what I need more than I do. So, or more than at least this process does. This process is the most natural thing I've been able to find in me, and it's the most natural process of coming back into balance that I've been able to find. So I'm just going to go right ahead and just keep on doing it. You know, but for everyone else or somebody else watching, it's going to inspire you to do anything, then you let it inspire you to do that. As far as like the specific practice, you know, I haven't showed it in all of its different levels and variations and depths, but you know, at least, you know, before you jump out of bed in the morning, get that activation and all those stretches in, like an animal awakening from being in a stagnant position. You know, just let your body catch up to your mind. You know, because I spent some time, and some days I'll jump out of bed, head straight for the French press, and I left my body behind, and it doesn't wake up until, you know, like 1 or 2 p.m. But I know people based on you know, just in my practice of 11 years as a therapist now and body worker, it's, you know, people have left their body behind, you know, and run with their heads for like decades at a time. You can get away with that. So for this, it's just a matter of just staying with your body, keeping your mind with your body and not leaving it behind. So hopefully it'll inspire that at least, or even before bed, just quick figure out what your body needs to do before you go into anything that's pre-planned. And then that's what I recommend to my clients all the time anyways. Just give your body a chance real quick. And then, yes, I mean, that's what you're watching. I mean, you're watching, simply, you're just watching Joel and all of his joliness, you know. This is an expression of myself, a deep, deep expression of myself. So if I could simplify my practice, it's a self-expression. It's a very deep expression of myself. Probably the best self that I can find. But you know, everyone has different goals, and for me it's a longevity thing, and all the capabilities of my body, my joints, my mobility, flexibility, ability to express every movement available. That's something I personally want. I haven't figured out exactly why I want that. I just want to be able to live fully in my body best that I can. And while at the same time getting to the bottom of my bullshit, understanding myself. This is a process of understanding myself. It's the route that I chose. And the route that I chose to make myself better, get my shit together, help myself, help my family, help my community, and then ultimately save the world. Oh, while rolling around on the floor. Just one strange thing at a time, baby. Woo! Thanks for watching. Peace.